You are tuned in to The Art of Words, hosted by Gavin Rasmussen.
My name is Gavin Rasmussen, your host for The Art of Words. In today's episode, we're going to be reading some poems featured in an article by Vanessa Hugh titled Poems on a Pandemic, Coronavirus-Inspired Words from Bay Area Readers, from the San Francisco Chronicle's Datebook. My Corona by Sally Morgan. The coronavirus looks like a dog toy or a child's cush ball. With its primary color and fanciful shape, how can something so whimsical be so insidious? It hasn't infected me, mind you, but it has changed me, morphed into an odd, complex chimera. I've grown antennae that detect a 6-foot field around me. I've developed a fly's eyes to see danger on the surfaces. Like a squirrel, I bury food in nooks and crannies for a distant time. I don a carapace to venture out, which I shed like a snakeskin on return to my door. I am Lady Macbeth at the sink. The future keeps receding. Certainty has collapsed. Sometimes I am like the bear, lumbering out of hibernation, but mostly I am like the groundhog, waiting, still waiting to see her shadow. For Better or Worse by Dawn Arbor. The virtual hug cannot replace the actual hug, and eye contact is not the same as eye contact. Yet we make do with Zoom and FaceTime and whatever else there is, but still we long for what comes after and what used to be. I get to work from home because I have a home. Lucky for that. I get to shop for groceries 2 weeks worth at a time because I have a roof and walls and kitchen cabinets, and I'm lucky for those as well. Walking these green hills of full-on spring, plum blossoms and cherry, jasmine and wisteria, calla lilies, ceanothus, and so many tangerines in the yard that even a horde of marauding squirrels can't eat them all. One would hardly suspect the burgeoning death and despair in the city below, the country, the world, and yet I won't forget. I can't forget. Lately, when I go walking, I wear the black baseball cap from a dozen years ago that says Obama above the brim, with that hopey, changey thing still steeped in every thread. And somehow I feel better, as if the hat itself had the power to bring back a time in our own galaxy and our own country where the person in charge liked other people as much as he liked himself, or maybe more, and where that person loved his wife and she loved him right back, and where they weren't afraid to show it, and where that person could sing Al Green and defend the Constitution at the same time. And when I walk, I see the faces, keeping social distance, doing the dance, yet they're still close enough to read the hat. And I think they are feeling what I'm feeling, that maybe there are days ahead, as good or maybe better than those we left behind, at least for those who survived to see them. A Viral Composition by Renata Starbird. It all seems so simple yet wonderfully cunning, that we should be haunted by creatures so stunning. Not a precariat, nor is it eukaryotic. Some close to home, others much more exotic. As we go round the globe in our planes, trains, and cars, as we chop down the trees to make room for our yards, as we drill deep into earth and pave roads in the mountains, viral dark matters inch closer by thousands. They are shapers and shakers of mankind's own history, preceding discovery. They were gigantic mystery, killing off whole royal lines with smallpox, the devil, pustules on eyes, skin, and lungs, truly testing our mettle. Intriguing and puzzling, these enigmatic beings, all time they've been with us, know they well a human being. Great lessons and wisdom they've yet to divulge. With science and research, we all may indulge. The cold, oh so common, is beastly to tackle. Over 200 strains leave us to grapple. More ominous yet, our dear friend influenza, with quick RNA changes. She cares not for agenda. We've got light bulbs and iPads and hydraulic presses, but vaccines They must summit mankind's greatest successes. They've transformed and disposed of so many diseases. Now I need not be scared every time someone sneezes. Anthropological insight may also be gained. Conversation cross cultures renders a virus contained. It takes research and business compassion and sharing with bright minds invested. Much better will be faring. I find myself curious and searching for answers. What makes EBV change? It caused mono, now cancer. Might viruses also bring nanotechnology, come to save us from skewed inner ecology? Viruses bookmark our history and act as timekeepers. Of iron lung confined children dream motherly weepers. With red patches and scratches returns a viral exanthem. When anti-vaxxers in Cali say vaccines, we can't stand them. And then there's Mbeki with his one stoic face, turning down HIV drugs, laying his country to waste, humbly reminding that with best of intentions, we will still make mistakes. What intricate beings these expert cell hijackers of our proteins and systems, they are detailed mappers. By studying viruses, we study ourselves. This is where my mind wanders while observing the wells. Pathogen free, some have said, but I vote allies instead. There's so much yet unknown. Viral footprints in our chromosomes. And with this brief poem, I hope to convey the fascination for viruses that I have today. Man's best friend may be dog, but his longest companion has always been microbes that are living within him. Shelter in This Place by Donna Musick Evans. Wildlife ventures further while the streets are empty. The fox and coyote lingered, not just fleeting in the shadows, stopped and watched me through the aquarium window, wondering if what they see is authentic in our homes, but somehow not our normal habitat. The Dam Has Broken by Susan Van de Bittner. The dam of holding back my words, the dam holding back my thoughts, the dam of resistance, the dam that I placed, the dam that was my excuse, the dam to allow focus on daily activities, dam of other projects, the dam of excuses. The dam was broken, and now the words of so many subjects flow freely of its own accord. My new job is to capture the flow in words by voice or writing, to create new rivers, new streams, and new joy. That time I ran to the darkened window after the small pebbles thrown by the cub reporter brother awakened me. He knew I would let him into the house, returning from interviewing Mrs. Anne Morrow Lindbergh. He sought the comfort of home. I was 6 years old, 1932. That time, we were visiting the same cub reporter in his Philadelphia home. Our mother held his firstborn, baby daughter. It was a Sunday afternoon. The telephone rang. After that call, we three drove back to Trenton. The silence in that car was our navigator, our surprise and shock so strong we were vacant of words. I was 15 years old, December 7th, 1941. That time my father's pattern on his workbench in the wartime airplane factory was destroyed. A patriotic man with a flag of 3, stars hung in the front window, now afraid his honesty was doubted. I was 16 years old, September 1942. That time I was walking on a street in Chicago with my almost twin brother when FDR died on August 6, 1945. Who was Harry Truman? I was 19 years old, August 1945. That time I called my brother, now home from the war. I was in Cleveland. He was a seasoned rewrite man for his newspaper. I told him Flight 521 from LaGuardia to Cleveland, Ohio had crashed. We were now orphans. I was 21 years old, May 29th, 1947. That time Eleanor Roosevelt spoke in the United Nations and again had the audience in the palm of her hand. She died soon after in 1962. She was the one who said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." I was 36 years old, November 7th, 1962. That time I drove a car from the rental company and turned the radio on to hear the awfulness of 9/11. It changed us. I was 75 years old, September 11th, 2001. That time Barack Obama was elected president of the United States, I wept with joy. I was 83 years old, January 20th, 2009. This time our governor, Gavin Newsom, issued shelter in place. The governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, said older Americans were precious. I appreciated that there is still room for me. I am in my 94th year, March 17th, 2020. Thank you for joining us today for The Art of Words. I'm Gavin, your host, and just a reminder to stay up to date on your vaccines, as well as if you're not feeling well, stay home and keep a mask on.
This has been The Art of Words, hosted by Gavin Rasmussen. If you'd like to leave suggestions, email us at ewcfacts@gmail.com. That's ewcfacts@gmail.com. This has been an EWC Communication production.